When you're just getting started with a new business, you'll be busy creating your business plans, deciding who your audience is, what you're going to offer them, all those kind of things. But it's also really important to think about your branding. Branding is what tells a story. It creates a feeling. It connects you with your audience. It's what people remember about you. It's what they feel about your business. So much more than just aesthetics and looking nice. It's about a message that you're putting out there. A brand is a set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that taken together account for a consumer's decision to choose one product or service over another. Seth Godin. So if you're just getting started or working on rebranding, it's so important that you're weaving in story into your brand. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 tips if you're just getting started with branding or doing a rebrand and you need some guidance to get you going about the things you need to think about and what you need to do to create a really amazing brand. So step 1 is getting to know yourself and your business. There's no faster way to really get to know yourself in a deep and intimate way than getting into the world of entrepreneurship and starting a business. There are so many huge learning curves, so many mindset shifts that you really have to dig deep and get to know yourself really well. And it's the perfect time to start thinking about how you want to brand your business. What elements of your personality and identity do you want to put into your branding so that people can connect with you and get to know you, and to create that relatability? And also, what elements of your business and its personality are you going to bring into the branding as well? Because you can't just think, oh, well, the business is more about my audience. It's not about me. I don't need to put myself out there. But people want to connect with someone. So you've really got to think about how you can put your personality and parts of you into your branding. Think about the things that really set you apart and things about your personality that make you unique, that people are going to really connect with and identify about your brand. Maybe it's your humor. Maybe it's how you dress. Maybe it's your crazy love for kittens, or the places you love to shop, or certain foods or drinks that you constantly have. Find little things about yourself that are quirky or really relatable that you can then inject into your branding so that people can really connect with you and identify your business as being you. The best way to go about this is to create a mind map. Start thinking about different elements of your personality and identity and start putting down various words and thoughts, and then branch off those things to start thinking how you could actually intertwine that into your branding. And then from there, start creating a mood board. Start looking at imagery and graphics that can represent some of those things. The next area to consider is the business itself. Depending on the type of business you have, your business can often have a bit of an identity of its own. Think about what your business stands for and what you believe in. What are your values and what's really important? What are you encouraging your audience to do or feel? What sets your business apart? What makes your business really different from what else is out there? And what is your bigger mission overall? And this doesn't have to be something huge. It could be that maybe you sell swimsuits that are made from sustainable fabrics, and so your big mission is to try and put more sustainable clothing out into the world. Consider why you even created your business in the first place. What kind of change does it create? How is it helping the world? What is it offering your audience and helping them with? When you really get clear on those things, you can start weaving that into your branding as well. So it doesn't have to be just talking about your products or your services all the time, but talking about that mission and those values as a whole, and really creating a story around that in your branding so that there's a bigger message there. Number 2 is get to know your audience. You really need to know your audience intimately. You need to know what their needs and wants are. What are they struggling with? What are their great desires? And what is that ideal solution that they're looking for? What really appeals to them too? What do they love and what are they really turned off by? What do they want to improve in their lives? What are they striving to get better at? What do they need encouragement with? Getting to know all those things on a really detailed level, and not just guessing but actually getting to know them and knowing really what it is that they're after, then you can put that in your branding so that you can create a brand that they just fall in love with. They don't just make those one-off purchases, but they become real loyal fans and followers of your brand. So much like when it came to yourself and your business, how you do a mood board, start thinking about ideas. Do the same with your audience. Start thinking what makes up who they are. What kind of words describe them? What kind of struggles do they go through? What are their great desires? Start writing all those things out. And then from there, you can start mood boarding those things. You can start finding imagery and graphics that represent some of those things so that you can start to create a look that really starts to connect with your audience. This also means you're going to create a brand style that isn't just all about trends and looking all nice, but there's really that deeper connection and meaning, and then you're going to end up with a brand that lasts so much longer because you aren't just chasing these fleeting looks that, you know, is what's in right now, and then in a few years time it's going to look really dated, but you're going to create a really strong foundation for your brand. So even if you want to make little changes over time, there's this really strong look and mood to it all, so that people are going to really remember that, and it's going to be consistent. Which leads us to number 3, don't get caught up in trends. A lot of people get caught up in trends because it's easy, because we know, oh, everybody loves that. Well, that's going to work because that's going to attract people because they think it looks nice. But the trouble with this is it's very short term, and it's hard to build a long-term consistent feeling if you're just chasing after trends. Sure, you might want to change things over time and update things and make things look a little bit better as things go on, but you want to have this overall feeling that remains, so that even if some design elements change, there is still the same mood and feeling created, and that message is still the core. So if you start with that message and what you're trying to communicate with your audience and really have that at the heart of your branding, then it's going to feel consistent even when changes are made. Whereas if you just started with trends and what's going to look good, then things are going to be constantly changing and things are going to have huge overhauls over time, and you're going to end up confusing people rather than building up a strong brand. This doesn't mean that you have to completely forget about trends and you can't even look at them. If they are relevant and they actually work for your message, yes, you could bring some trends into it. The important thing is not to let trends guide your branding, but rather let your message guide your branding. Number 4 is ask others how they interpret your brand, because branding is actually how other people feel about your brand. So you could make all this effort to try and create something, but if someone is interpreting it a completely different way and they're not getting that same vibe you intended, then you're doing it all wrong. It's really important that your branding is actually getting it across the right message, that people are feeling the way you want them to feel, that when you're not around and they think about your brand, they're thinking about it in the way that you wanted them to think. So make sure that you go through a testing phase. Ask people that are actually your ideal audience, not just random family and friends, but people that you're actually trying to aim your branding at, and just, you know, without any prompts to try and push them to think a certain way about it, just ask them off the cuff how they feel about it. What kind of reaction do they have to it? By looking at it, what do they think the business is all about? What do they think they're going to get out of that brand? These sort of things can really be eye-opening. You even want to do some A/B testing where you try 2 different things, maybe a few small tweaks here and there, and see which one you're getting a better reaction from. And then you can really tailor your branding in a way that's really going to resonate. And finally, number 5 is tell stories. So go back to your business purpose and also your personal identity. And start looking at the stories that you can start telling visually through your brand, because people connect with stories. That's what's going to really draw people in and make them feel connected to your business. And remember that stories don't just have to be told with words. Stories can be told visually as well. Consider how you can subtly tell stories through things like symbolism, color psychology, graphic elements that people will actually associate with things. Think of it almost like a parable. You're telling a story through another medium. You're not directly telling that story, but you're using all these other elements to start sort of bringing that story in. Think about how you can try and explain complex things by using simple things that people really understand. A quick simple example to get you thinking would be if you wanted to tell the story of how your pillows that you sell are super soft, cuddly, create this really relaxing sleep for you and make you feel really comfortable and at ease, and how a good night's sleep can make a huge difference, then symbolism like fluffy plump clouds can really tell a story. Or cute cuddly teddy bears. Think about those everyday things that people already have associations, and how you can then tell the stories of your brand by using those symbols. So everybody knows that a fluffy white cloud makes them feel light and relaxed and comfortable, and memories of their childhood teddy bear are going to bring them thoughts of comfort and relaxation. So using those things that people already have associations with to try and tell the new story of your branding and what it can offer can really help it make a lot more sense. So good luck with your new branding journey. And if you want a little bit more help going through this process, then I have a free email course, and you can find the link down in the description. And it really goes through each of these things in a little more depth so that you can really try and figure out how to add all these elements together to try and and create a really strong visual brand identity. As always, if you want more help with visual branding, graphic design, and encouragement in your creative journey, then be sure to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time.